glance, you might mistake this for a coconut, but it's actually an animal. And here's a hint, it's a mammal. In fact, the only mammal covered by a shell.
But this is called the three-banded armadillo.
Armadillos are nocturnal, so no chance we'll see it come out of its shell during our daytime visit. The three-banded is the only one of all the armadillo species that can completely curl up into a ball.
This is the tail. This is the plate over the top of the head.
115 animals live here at Wildlife Encounters in Rochester. 80 different species, mammals, reptiles, birds, amphibians.
The animals that we do work with are dependent wildlife. They're not animals that can be released to the wild with any probability of surviving on their own. Or if they did have a probability of surviving on their own, that might not be desirable because they may not be native to this area. So we would be irresponsibly introducing an invasive species into the environment.
Derek Small owns and operates Wildlife Encounters. It's not a zoo. It's not even open to the public.
We're not wildlife rehabilitators. We're not a rescue shelter. We're not a humane society for weird things. And we certainly don't want to give the impression that people can just drop off unwanted pets or farm animals or anything like that that they can't handle anymore with us.
Wildlife Encounters is essentially a specialty school. The critters are ambassadors that Derek and his team use to teach people about animals.
So the one thing you got to watch out for with porcupines is their very, very sharp teeth. If you don't know this about porcupines, they have 4 teeth in the front, 2 top ones, 2 bottom ones, and they grow constantly like our fingernails.
So you can understand my hesitation when Derek gives me a banana to feed Thorn, a Brazilian tree porcupine. You mean I have to get close to those teeth?
You can just put it right there if you want to. And he should be like, yeah, okay, I'll take that. Oh, yeah, you're good. Nice job. There we go.
Thorn's teeth aren't the only thing that can pierce you. His quills are 30 times sharper than a surgical scalpel.
He sheds them constantly, just like hairs. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Check out the quills on Domino.
Come on, baby boy.
Domino is a giant African crested porcupine, the largest porcupine species in the world. Thorn likes bananas, while Domino prefers apples.
Look what I have. Want to get some exercise? Oh my goodness, look at this. Come on, let's get some exercise.
Domino mingles out in the backyard with the farm animals, Tootsie the goat and Tux the pig, who, by the way, aren't in the mood for sharing.
Hey, guys. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Okay, that's enough. Stop beating up the little guy.
Tootsie was born at Dover High School. She was a runt, rejected by her mother, not expected to survive. That was 3 years ago. Look at her now, and she's a favorite with kids. Wildlife Encounters gives about 1,000 presentations a year, mainly in schools. They pack up the animals and bring their show on the road.
What we're trying to communicate is that wild animals are living things just like us. We have to respect and appreciate and be empathetic of them. If we don't have an appreciation, respect, and understanding of nature and natural environments and the animals, plants, and other organisms that literally allow life to exist on the planet, then we just become more and more disconnected, more and more uncaring.
3rd and 4th graders at New Franklin Elementary School in Portsmouth are quick studies.
Are you guys ready?
Awesome.
Unafraid to handle Houdini, the 8.5-foot Burmese python snake. Next, Derek brings out a classroom favorite.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is?
Sid, the cockatoo. One of the largest and loudest of its kind.
Now, can he actually talk?
Yeah.
No, but he can make some sounds. Go ahead and make some sounds. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's a big sound. Oh, my goodness.
Sid is 25 years old and could live to 100.
Can you stand the feathers up on your head, please? Come on, you can do it. No, the little ones. I didn't want you to nod. I wanted you to put your... No. And you see how he has pretty colors underneath there? These are called crest feathers. And just like
I really like birds, and their feathers were really pretty, and it was just like a really nice animal.
I liked when he was screaming and when he was like doing his up and down, going up and down.
Wildlife Encounters plans to move to a bigger place where animals like the coati mundi have more room to roam.
Here, you want to climb the tree up here, young man? Come on. You can do this. Don't be lazy. Good job.
The new place would also include an education center where kids could visit.
There's going to be a kid there who's going to hear something, feel something, and it's going to change the direction of their life. Maybe that summer they will save a wild animal that otherwise would have died, or maybe they grow up to be the next Jack Hanna or Benny Irwin, who knows.